Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Cotter.
And I'm Kim Griffith. Good to see you again. You know, Paul, we've been talking along the lines of how really effortless it was for us to write this book. And in the big picture, that's true. We have an excellent writing and working relationship, and writing the book was really easy for us, but there were a few little difficulties that we had to overcome, like the title.
The title, yes. The title sticks out in my mind for being one of the most difficult parts of the book. And I think the reason for that is because it's what everyone sees right from the beginning, and it's just so important. And it's hard to sum up what your book is in one title. And I just wanted it to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And to illustrate that. And it's probably, maybe that's the case with every author. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure either. But I remember after we had talked about it and driving to the airport to pick up my husband, and I was sitting in the cell phone lot, and all these titles kept coming to me, and I was texting you title after title after title going, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, and you'd go, no.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay, because our title is awesome.
Our title is awesome. So I guess last summer, well, in July, I went to the Matrix program with Bob, and I remember I had an agenda of some things I wanted to accomplish when I was there. And I remember being in the airport, and I walked into one of the stores to buy a snack, and they had all the books there. And I stood there with my cell phone, and I just took pictures of the shelves. And on the airplane, I looked at those pictures, and I read the titles to the books that were fiction books. And I was like, okay, how do you come up with a title? And I remember I had my iPad with me, and I've got a pen with my iPad, and I just started writing. And, one of those things where you just spin off from everything and connect all these lines, and wherever my thoughts took me, I just wrote, and I tried to come up with themes. I tried to come up with everything. And in the very end, it hit me, Gifted. And I don't remember when I said something to you about the title, but it may have been when I got to the conference. But that title resonated with both of us. And
yeah, because the working title we had resonated with no one. We liked it, but nobody else did.
Yeah. Well, and then I remember when I was at Matrix, there was a point at that seminar when I went and I had to talk to Bob, and I kind of told him about what we were doing and why we did it and how we started it. And so he was asking me questions about the book. And one of the questions he asked me was, what's the title of the book? And I said, Gifted. And he kind of paused, and you could tell he was thinking. And then he turned to me and he said, that's a great title.
Uh-huh.
And it was like sigh of relief, And so just that's one of the stories that really stands out to me. That was really difficult in the process.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Kim? What sticks out with you as being difficult?
Well, one of the things that was difficult was to decide to make a huge change and delete a chapter. That was hard. But I remember us sitting in the business center of the Hilton in LA when we actually met.
Right.
And we were reading the book together, getting ready to send it to the editor. So we were reading and making all of our last minute changes. And I remember looking across the table at you and going, I don't like this chapter. and not really wanting to say, I don't like this chapter, because we had worked so hard on it. You in particular had worked so hard on it. And I thought, oh, but it was good at the time, but now it was just falling so flat. So that was really challenging.
That was, and I remember that moment, and I don't remember my reaction, but I think I went with it, because I think deep down I knew that it needed to be, and I was able to put aside, like, but we wrote so much for it, and I remember that chapter was like 2 times the length of our other chapters. It was extremely long. But I do remember that you said, you know what, there are things from this chapter we can use in the sequel. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm fine.
All is not lost.
It's not lost.
Well, and then even the greater challenge, once we made that decision, was having to go back again through the entire book and tie up the loose ends that came as a result of removing that chapter.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah, we had to go through the whole book and take out any reference that went to that. So yeah, that was definitely a major thing to do. But I do remember that it took us a little while to get going on the rewrite, like how exactly do we want this to go? Mm-hmm. But I'm so glad we did it. I love what it ended up being. But I also know that by writing what we wrote, even though we didn't keep it and use it, it's still in our heads. Mm-hmm. and we still know those things about our characters.
Yes.
Everyone else doesn't know that, you know?
Yes. We'll still have secrets about them after it's published.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so probably one of the last things that we had to do that was super hard was writing the summary for the book. And, you know, I remember neither of us just wanted to give in to what the other had written. And we both had written summaries, and
about 6 of them. I think we each written about 6 summaries.
Yeah. And why do you think that was so hard?
How do you take a great work of art and condense it down to a few lines of glory? I don't know.
Well stated. Yeah, it was definitely difficult to write the summary. And I think it is because we have this whole work that we've spent a year or however long we've spent writing it. And now we've got to put it in like 3 paragraphs, you know?
Yeah. But you did a brilliant job. It is the one thing that I do remember. You did write the summary. I think you took little bits and pieces from everything that we had written, and you choreographed it so beautifully. And you should be really proud of it because it's a perfect summary.
I do like our summary.
It's good.
We haven't used it much, but eventually we'll use it, right?
Yeah, it's going to be right on the back cover.
Yep. All right, so there's one more thing that sticks out in my mind.
What's that?
That was when we were doing the cover art for the book.
Yes.
And we have a funny story. I have a background in marketing, and so I've been very involved in graphic design and different things like that. And we have an amazing cover artist. What she did, we love, and we love imagery. And Kim was ready to sign off on the cover, but I was like, no, the font is not right.
You have to understand that Paul is a perfectionist. And so from time to time, I have to remind him to let go of perfect, because there will always be something that you want to tweak or rework about it. And that's the way I felt he was reacting to the font. And I would say to you, remember, Paul, it's just a font.
I'm like, don't say that. It's so much more.
It was everything to you, and that was okay. And you did get the font you wanted.
I did, and I appreciate your patience with that.
I think it took 3 weeks for you to decide on a font.
It took a while. It took a while, and we had a lot of help in the process. But I like a font. I love it. I think it's great.
It is. It's a great font, and I have learned a valuable lesson. The font really does matter.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It really does matter. Anything else stick out?
Not for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. You know, it's funny how those moments that were difficult stick out, and everything else just seems so smooth.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, good process. Good process.
Yep.